Honorable President, respected Adi Janki, and all the interfaith leaders and guests, a very warm good afternoon to all of you. Today on the International Day of Peace, we have gathered here for the national launch of All India Ahimsa Parmo Dharma Awareness Campaign. Of late, we have been seeing how violence has become the order of the day. I invite Sister Asha from the Brahma Kumaris, who is the campaign coordinator, to give the welcome address and share with us the objectives of the campaign.
Om Shanti. Respected Rashtrapati Ji, we interfaith leaders, along with our friends gathered here, most cordially welcome you among us from the core of our hearts. We are extremely thankful to your honor for sparing your precious time to launch the All India Ahimsa Parmo Dharma Awareness Campaign. Violence, in all its forms, is spreading like wildfire and is posing a great threat to the peace and progress of our society. The recent spurt in gruesome violence and criminal assaults on women of all ages is a matter of grave concern for everyone. The interfaith conveners of the All India Ahimsa Parmo Dharma Awareness Campaign have made a small but significant beginning by creating this common platform for all concerned to come together and make concerted efforts to curb the menace of violence. The objectives of the campaign are: 1. To work for elimination of all forms of violence in the society. 2. Reach out to vast followership of religions and faith traditions. 3. To organize programs for parents and families to eliminate violence both within and outside home. 4. To facilitate women-friendly environment through sensitization and training programs. 5. To conduct a comprehensive survey to obtain suggestions and support for the campaign. 6. To promote implementation of value education and character building programs in the educational system. 7. Use of media to promote non-violence with special programs for uneducated youth and children. 8. Approach governmental and other agencies to facilitate attainment of its objectives. 9. To support Ahimsa Messenger project launched by Union Ministry of Women and Child Welfare. 10. To liaison with UNESCO and other UN agencies for furtherance of its objectives. Respected Rashtrapati Ji, India has been a practical example of religious harmony for the whole world. Even today, we have a Hindu president, a Muslim vice president, a Sikh prime minister, and a Christian president of the ruling party. Sir, we seek your blessings and guidance for the success of this campaign, which will be taken to all nooks and corners of the country. Its launch today, by your honor, will go a long way to garner widest support for the campaign. Thank you very much. Om Shanti.
Every faith has taught us the message of peace, non-violence, love and harmony. I now invite the interfaith leaders who have been serving in Delhi since past few decades to share their message on non-violence. I first call upon Dr. A.K. Merchant, National Trustee of Baha'i Community of India.
On behalf of the Baha'i Community of India and the Baha'i Assembly of Delhi, I bring greetings of peace and non-violence on this United Nations International Day of Peace. Let me quote what Honorable President said recently. Religion, he said, should never become an instrument for propagation of hatred and violence. The Baha'i faith, followers of Baha'u'llah, strongly advocates non-violence in every sphere of our lives, and I'm glad to share just two short statements from its holy scriptures. Nothing whatever can in this day inflict a great harm than dissension and strife, contention, estrangement and apathy among the loved ones of God. When a thought of war comes, oppose it by a stronger thought of peace. A thought of hatred must be destroyed by a more powerful thought of love. Every aggressor deprives himself of God's grace. Thank you very much.
I'm here to speak about the biblical perspective of nonviolence. Like many other scholars have in the past, Marcus Borg, an American Bible scholar, too wrote, and I quote, both the Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi said that Jesus' Sermon on the Mount provided the foundation for their political protests. One of the things Jesus said in the Sermon on the Mount is, I quote, if anyone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other also. It is believed that Mahatma Gandhi developed his philosophy of non-violence partly from this gospel. Once, when soldiers came to arrest Jesus, one of his disciples drew his sword out and cut the ear of the soldier. But Jesus immediately ordered him, put your sword in its place, for all who take the sword will perish by the sword. And he healed the ear immediately. There could be many reasons why people become violent, but we find that Jesus offers wonderful insights how to be non-violent. His teachings focus primarily on love. He says, love your neighbor as yourself. Thus, just as one can't be violent to one with oneself, so also one can't be violent to anyone else. And with regard to who our real neighbor is, he narrates the parable of the Good Samaritan. Again, Jesus says, a new commandment I give to you, that you love one another as I have loved you. Besides loving one's neighbor, Jesus goes further and asks people to also love one's enemies and pray for those who persecute them. Besides prayers, the Bible suggests, finally, all of you be of one mind, having compassion for one another, love as brothers, be courteous, not returning evil for evil. And therefore, if your enemy hungers, feed him. If he thirsts, give him a drink. Do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. If we practice the virtue of loving everyone and praying for our enemies and those who hate us, then things will begin to happen as written in the book of Isaiah. Violence shall no longer be heard in your land, neither wasting nor destruction within your borders. Thank you.
Islam is from the root word salam, which means peace. It also means surrendering to God, the Almighty. There is peace in the universe because the whole universe has surrendered to God. Islam says that all human beings must achieve peace, social, economic and political, by surrendering to God and promoting love, cooperation and brotherhood. Holy Quran clearly says, I quote, Allah does not like mischief. It also says, killing of one single innocent person is equal to killing of whole mankind, and saving of one single person is equal to saving the whole humanity. Prophet Muhammad, the last prophet of Islam, has said, If the entire population of the world is involved in killing one person, God will punish everyone. Quran also says that evil should be removed by what is good. Let us join hands to promote a peaceful, humane and human-loving India and world, and let us give up hate, violence, conflict and war. Towards the end of my speech, I pray to God to bless my country, our President and the whole world and the whole humanity. Thank you very much.
Greetings of peace and non-violence on behalf of Mahabodhi Society of India. The Buddha in the Dhammapada says that Nahi verena verani sammanti the kudachanam averena cha sammanti esa dhammo sanantano. Hatreds never cease through hatred in this world. Through love alone they cease. This is an eternal truth. Sabbe tasanti dandassa sabbe bhayanti machuno attanang upamankatva nahaneyana gate. All tremble at the rod punishment, all fear death. Comparing others with oneself, one should neither strike nor cause to strike. Thank you.
श्रीमद् भगवद गीता में भगवान श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं कि अर्जुन, अहिंसा सत्यम क्रोधस त्यागः शांति अपैशनम दया भूते श्लोलुक्तम मार्दम ही चापलम। अर्थात अहिंसा, सत्यता, क्रोधविहीनता, त्याग, शांति, चिंतावेशन अरुचि, समस्त जीवों पर करुणा, लोभविहीनता, भद्रता, लज्जा, संकल्प, ये सारे दिव्य गुण हैं। इन दिव्य गुणों से पूरे मानव समाज का सजाना है, जिसमें अहिंसा प्रमुख है। श्री प्रभुपाद जी के अनुसार अहिंसा का अर्थ है कि किसी जीव के प्रगतिशील जीवन को न रोकना, क्योंकि हर जीव को जीवित एवं प्रगत करने का पूरा अधिकार है, वे या मनुष्य हों या पशु पक्षी हों। भगवान श्री कृष्ण स्वयं बुद्ध के रूप में इस पृथ्वी पर अवतार लिए और दीन पशुओं पर दया करके अहिंसा का उपदेश दिया और उन्होंने अहिंसा परमो धर्म का नारा बुलंद किया। इस प्रकार हम सबको मिलकर अहिंसा, सत्य, अक्रोध, त्याग, शांति एवं करुणा आदि दिव्य गुणों का प्रचार प्रसार पूरे विश्व में करना चाहिए, ताकि पूरा मानव समाज भाईचारे एवं अमन चैन से कंधे से कंधा मिलाकर यह अमूल्य जीवन जीते हुए प्रगति के शिखर पर चढ़ते जाएं। हम सब मिलकर मांसाहार, नशा, झूठ एवं व्यभिचार मुक्त सुंदर, सुखमय एवं शांतिमय समाज का निर्माण करें। हरे कृष्ण।
Greetings of peace and non-violence on behalf of Jews of India. The concept of Ahimsa against a living form in Judaism finds expression in chapter 20 of the book of Exodus, thou shalt not kill. In the same set of 10 commandments, there is another, thou shalt not covet, which goes to the root of all forms of crime, including murder, since inordinate desire for anything sets in motion in human heart the principles of violence in all its forms. Rabbi Hillel explained the entire Torah by saying, what is hateful and hurtful to you, do not do to others. Similarly, in the book of Leviticus, we find, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Rashtrapati Mahatma Gandhi ji also said, what is obtained through violence and hatred cannot be retained forever, but whatever is obtained through non-violence and love may be retained forever. And therefore he always believed, truth is my God and I will achieve it by the means of non-violence. I, on behalf of Jews of India, convey our best wishes for launching of Ahimsa Parmo Dharma awareness campaign, and I am confident that it will reach out to vast followership of religious traditions and we will have a violence-free society in our country. Shabbat Shalom.
Om Shanti. Om
शांति। मेरे प्रेसिडेंट भाई साहब, ओम शांति। इसका मतलब ये है, ये अंगुल ये ना, पर यहाँ करूँ, मैं कौन हूँ? दूसरा ऊपर वाला, मेरा कौन है? अब मुझे क्या करना है संसार में? बस मैं कौन, ईगो चला गया, मेरा कौन, शक्ति आ गई, अटैचमेंट चली गई। अब संसार में कैसे रहना है? हम सब एक एक के है, एक है। मुझे आज संगठन में बैठे प्रेसिडेंट साहब को सामने देख करके इतनी खुशी हुई है, जो दिल कहता है नाच उठूं, क्योंकि अहिंसा और सत्यता हमारे भारत को स्वर्ग बनाने वाला है। जब मैं विश्व भर में, मुझे सेवा का 74 से लेकर के सारे विश्व में सेवा करने का भाग्य मिला है। मैं हिंदी बोल रहे, सब समझते हैं हिंदी। सेवा का भाग्य मिला हुआ है, तो सभी में कोई भारतवासी देख करके नमस्ते करेंगे, ऐसे करेंगे। कोई भी मिलेगा, कोई भी धर्म वाला होगा मिलेगा, तो मैं क्या करती हूँ? हाथ में हाथ देती हूँ। सच्चाई, प्रेम, विश्वास, तीनों में शक्ति है। सच्चाई है ना, आज मैं आपके सामने खड़ी हो सकती हूँ सच्चाई के आधार पर। 77 ईयर हुआ है ब्रह्मा कुमारी बने, और 97 एज सच्चाई ने चलाया है और प्रेम ने चलाया है। कोई भी देश में जाएंगे, जापान जाऊं या चाइना जाऊंगा, कहाँ भी जाऊं, सब अपने हैं, सब अपने हैं ना। मेरे बहन भाई है ना, एक परमात्मा के बच्चे हैं, अल्लाह ईश्वर गॉड एक है ना। तो वो जो दृष्टि वृत्ति, पहले वृत्ति दृष्टि, सबको देख रही हूँ, कितनी शांति। आशा बहन को कार में बोला, शांति की शक्ति कैसे परमात्मा बाप ने दी है, तो शांति की शक्ति सदा अडोल चल। अबू में बड़ा प्रोग्राम चल रहा था, माइंड स्टिल। क्या है स्पिरिचुअलिटी? धर्म, जाति, रंग, भाषा से परे ले जाती है। मुझे ये आता नहीं है, जानती सबको हूँ, पर मिलती ऐसे हूँ, मेरा भाई है या मेरी बहन है। तो क्या होता है, वो सच्चाई काम करती है, वो प्रेम काम करता है। आज कितने देशों में मुझे याद भी नहीं है, ये परमात्मा बाप ने पहचान दी है, हर आत्मा तो अपने आप को पहचान, मैं कौन हूँ, मेरा कौन है। तो मैं ये भी नहीं कहती हूँ, देखो संसार में आज अबू में भी ये प्रोग्राम में मैंने बताया उन लोगों को, कभी नहीं कहेंगे ये क्या हुआ, कैसे हुआ, क्या होगा, कौन करेगा, चुप, वो करेगा। विश्वास है। आखिर भी भारत हमारा सारे संसार में भले कर कितनी भी मायावी बातें हो गई है, हम सिंपल है। मेरे हाथ में 5 रुपया नहीं है, 5 पाउंड नहीं है, $5 नहीं है, सफेद कपड़े, जेब खाली। सारे मुल्क में जहाँ भी जाओ मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए, मैं ये भी नहीं जो मुझे शांति चाहिए है, शक्ति चाहिए, प्रेम, मुस्कुराना जिसको आता है, कोई बात मुश्किल नहीं है। मुस्कुराना क्या है, तकलीफ है? कोई तकलीफ नहीं है, कोई प्रॉब्लम है। मैं इंग्लिश नहीं जानती हूँ, सब हिंदी में बोल रही हूँ। But don't worry, no problem. Don't worry, no problem. कोई आई नहीं है प्रॉब्लम. आई होंगी ना बेचारी चली गई, मेरे बैठेगी नहीं प्रॉब्लम. परीक्षाएं आती है, जो कोई मनुष्य पढ़ाई कोई स्टडी करता है, मैं परमात्मा का बच्चा हूँ, बच्ची नहीं हूँ, बच्चा हूँ, तो प्योरिटी इतनी प्योर संकल्प वाणी दृष्टि न पवित्रता में सत्यता काम करती है. सत्यता से फिर क्या चाहिए? धीरता. धीरता में अब धीरे होने से जो भी आता है कर लेता है भूल से, पर नहीं धीरता. ठहरो एक मिनट बाकी. धीरता, फिर निम्रता. मेरी बात समझो, 5 बातें: पवित्रता, सत्यता, धीरता, निम्रता. निम्रता से मधुरता. ये है अहिंसा सत्य. अहिंसा सत्य धर्म है. जो हमारे कर्म भी ऐसे हो जो धरती पर पाव न हो. कौन है हम? ईश्वर के बच्चे हैं, परमात्मा के बच्चे हैं. पवित्रता सत्यता के शक्ति से वो चला रहा है, हम चल रहे हैं. न ईगो न अटैचमेंट, दोनों से फ्री. ओके, एक 1 मिनट साइलेंस करना, एकदम 1 मिनट. अंदर जो बताया ना मैं.
I welcome you all to Rashtrapati Bhavan on this happy occasion when all faiths and well-meaning persons combine in a particular place. It is said that place itself becomes holy. Therefore, your presence, with the intention to launch and propagate a noble idea, are welcome. Not merely it is synchronizing with the International Day of Peace, which has been announced by United Nations and being observed since 1982. But I do feel, in the context of today's situation, where violence is almost everywhere, when our heads come down, when we cannot protect our sisters, our daughters. And once I said that a country cannot be called a civilized country if it cannot honor its mothers and sisters and daughters. The very primary teaching of civilization we are forgetting, and for no reason. Not a single religion is there which spreads violence. Each and every religion speaks of love, compassion, humanity, kindness, service. And in a country where we boast that we may be a new nation, but we are the oldest civilization of the world, 5,000 years old civilization, where Gautam Buddha preached his missions, Mahavir preached his missions of non-violence, where with the advent of Islam at a very early age and Christianity,
this country has accommodated all faith, all beliefs, all religious practices and usages. There if we see violence in every walk of life, we shall have to sit back and think ourselves where we are going. What could we achieve by it? Therefore it is high time for all of us to reset the moral compass, to bring sanity back. Sometimes it appears that we are behaving as insanity has grappled us. And this is just not merely the job of administration alone. The very fundamental dictum of governance and formation of the governance and government: will, not force. Will is the basis of state. Desire to accept, discipline, to obey, and to do duty are the basic ingredients of the formation of civilized society. Therefore, when you are launching this program, as a conscientious citizen, I do feel that it is my duty to associate myself with this great mission. Frankly speaking, when I find the news of communal travel, my mind goes back to a small, humble line from Bible, when it is being asked, "Where goest my Lord?" reply comes, "To Rome to be crucified again." And we are crucifying Jesus almost every day by our act of violence. We are repeating 30th January 1948 every day by each act of violence. Not few people, not one or two individuals kill these great personalities, directly, indirectly. Our apathy, our tolerance for violence have created the atmosphere where violence is begetted by violence. The time has come when we shall have to say enough is enough. Humanity cannot bear any longer. Therefore you are launching this basic fundamental principles of nothing can be achieved by violence, but everything can be achieved by love, compassion, services. It is nothing but complete perversion to indulge violence in the name of religion. No religion can ever preach violence. All the great religious teachers who have built up the human civilization, each and every one of them taught love, compassion, tolerance, not hatred, not violence. No Tamerlane or Genghis Khan could create and determine the course of civilization. No Nazis and fascists could dominate the course of civilization. It is Prophet, it is Buddha, it is Christ who determined the course of human civilization, not mighty rulers and conquerors. The teachings, the preachings, the examples set by these great leaders are followed through millions of years, practiced by millions of people, where the stories of the great emperors, great kings and great conquerors just find small place in the text of history. One historian described King Osek's rule as the brightest interlude in the troubled history of mankind. But that is not the rule of Ashoka when he conquered Kalinga. That rule is when the conqueror converted himself into a missionary, and from Chandashok he was converted to Dhammashok. That period is considered as the brightest interlude in the troubled history of mankind. That is the teaching of history, and there is no reason that we should deviate from it. I welcome your efforts, the initiatives taken by you in presence of all religious faiths and supporters and believers in them will no doubt gather momentum, and I do feel humanity is to be saved, civilization is to be saved, and it cannot be saved by mere enactment in Parliament or by law enforcing machineries. It will have to be saved collectively by the mankind, all of us. Thank you very much for taking this initiative. Let God be with you. That is the only thing I can say. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.